Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday morning espresso shot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to the next 15 minutes. So, let us begin our morning routine with just a simple heart focused breathing technique. So, follow along as we try and settle our bodies into a centered balance. So, let's place our awareness in the area of the heart and take slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would, and just settle into this wonderful place in your heart. Let us slow everything down. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Beautiful. Notice how your body is just starting to slow down and settle in. There may be thoughts that come into your mind. I just want you to just let them pass through. Do not engage. If there are important thoughts, just briefly ask your body to remind you when this is done. If they're important enough, they'll come back. And anytime you want to remember things that you need to do this practice, the heart focused breathing, and those thoughts will come right back. So continue your slow, deep breaths. Visualize these going in and out of your heart. And know that any important information that awaits you is always going to be there. So you don't have to engage any thoughts, not at this time anyways. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize them flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. When you take these deep breaths in, just do them gently and don't stop at the top of your breath or the bottom of your breath. Just allow it to flow. If you can count for 5 seconds breathing in and then 5 seconds breathing out, and allow this just to flow in and out of your body. Wonderful. And now it's time for the I didn't know that moment. And today's topic is all about the power of the unseen. And I know that all those who are on this call and all those who are going to be listening later on all believe in the power of the unseen. But let me share with you some of the things that we notice in nature around the unseen and how it affects us and how it's actually critical for us. So let us begin to explore this power of the unseen for us. All right? So let us do this now. So I've taken an example of this particular candle that's here. This is not really a candle, it's really a 500 watt heat lamp. So look at the temperature at the surface of this heat lamp. It's about 340 degrees Fahrenheit, or if you're in the metric system, it's 171 degrees Celsius. That heat lamp radiates heat, but by the time you get out to about 8 inches from the lamp, the temperature has dropped to 126 degrees Fahrenheit or 52 degrees Celsius. It's fairly hot from human basis, but it still dropped significantly, just 8 inches out. And if we go out about 26 inches from the lamp, which is a little over 2 feet, it's dropped furthermore. So now you're in the 85 degree Fahrenheit or the 29 degrees Celsius temperature. What's important about this particular example, from a heat lamp to the person actually receiving it about a little over 2 feet away, is that the temperature actually goes from 340 degree Fahrenheit down to 126 degrees Fahrenheit down to 85, very linearly or seemingly linear. But it does go down in a profile like this. Now, what's important about this is when you talk about the sun and the earth, and you explore this a bit, the sun has a surface temperature of 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, this is not the hottest it can be. There are layers in the sun that are even hotter than this. But let's just, for simplicity, let's just say that the average surface temperature of the sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit or about 5,800 degrees Celsius. See what happens in empty space? The temperature drops to below 148 degrees Fahrenheit or to minus 100 Celsius. Okay, so coming from the sun to the empty space, but on Earth, the average temperature is 57 degrees Fahrenheit or 14 degrees Celsius. This is quite different from our heat lamp example. In this case, the temperature actually between the earth and the sun actually drops and then picks up to a higher temperature. So what's the basis of this particular example? Well, if you think about it, in the earlier example, there was a profile where, something was hot, then it became warmer, and then it became a lot warmer or cooler. I would say it was hot, it became a little cooler, then it became a little cooler, more cooler. In this case, it's odd. And I guess what we have to take away from this is that there is a special relationship between the sun and the earth. It's a scientific proof, it's a fact, and a proof of nature that it's because of the sun that our temperature on the earth is regulated the way it is. So if it is the sun that's regulating the temperature on our earth, it really does not affect the empty space the way it affects earth. So the sun has a special relationship with the empty space, and the sun has a special relationship to the earth, and it's quite distinct. We are quite distinct. We have a distinct relationship with the sun and everything in nature. For example, it's the space that carries the frequency rays from the sun, and it's the actual particles in the air, it's the atmosphere, it's the earth. All of those combined actually have a resonance with the sun to create heat and to trap the heat in the atmosphere. That is the relationship that we have with nature. And the power of the unseen is the waves that are coming at us, and it doesn't affect the space the same way as it affects the earth. So we are very special in a sense that we have a special relationship with nature. Are there other examples where we have special relationships with nature. And the power of unseen is there, even if we believe it's not there, or if we dismiss it. The power of the unseen is that which comes from the sun, skips through the space, and affects the earth the way it doesn't affect space. So there's definitely a relationship we have to consider, and that's the power of the unseen. So let us now begin to express gratitude and appreciation for the power of the unseen for all of us, because there's much out there that is unseen that affects us, and all we can do is give gratitude to all these things that are keeping us alive and healthy and well. So let us begin by placing our awareness in the area of the heart, and let's take slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. And now experience gratitude, appreciation, compassion, love for all humanity, love for all the creatures in the humanity, love for all the power that's unseen, that's affecting us, that's keeping us going. Taking slow, deep breaths. Visualize these breaths flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would, and experiencing gratitude. Take these slow, deep breaths and do not stop at the top of the breath or the bottom of the breath. Just allow it to flow in and out, normally, naturally. See if you can count to 5 as you breathe in and count to 5 as you breathe out. At least 5-second count. Very nice. Just take these gentle breaths in and out. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. And if any thoughts come into your mind, allow them to just pass. Do not engage. Is your awareness in the area of the heart? And are you experiencing gratitude? Restore your senses to the present. Be present and experience these amazing emotions as they carry these emotions into your bloodstream to every cell in your body. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. That's the 15 minutes are up. Went by fairly quickly, as it always does. And I appreciate your presence here, and those who are going to be listening to this after as a replay. So if there are any questions, feel free to type them in right now. Be happy to answer the questions. All right. Just wanted to let people know that if you are a member of Ignite, that the law of attraction has already been edited. I'll be publishing it tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be able to access it sometime this week then. So tomorrow, look out for, just log into your Ignite membership site, and you'll do that. And then on December 9th, we're going to do a live webinar where we're going to take a deep dive using meditative techniques to uncover our deepest potential and highest potential for 2019. And so if you're not a member of Ignite yet, I encourage you to join. All right, question and answers. Anybody have any Q&A? Feel free to type it in. I see a notice or a chat from Lou. Lou is asking if it's the ionosphere that helps us maintain and regulate the heat in on the Earth. Yes, it is actually. It's the ultraviolet radiation, and there are layers of the atmosphere. One of them is the ionosphere. And what happens is the ultraviolet lights pass through the atmosphere, bounce off of the Earth, and then when they actually bounce back towards the sun, it gets trapped in the ionosphere, and then it heats up the particles. Because we are a lot denser on Earth here than in terms of our material density than in space. There is no interplay between molecules in space and the ultraviolet rays that are coming from the sun. So there is a bit of heating in space, but not quite that much. You know, you see the heating go to like minus 150 degrees or minus 100 degrees Celsius. That's not really heating. You know, that's just, you know, that is heating, but it's not heating to a comfortable temperature. But on Earth, there's a special relationship in terms of the density of the Earth, the ionosphere, the atmosphere, and all the things that allow the sun's rays to be trapped. And that's a special relationship. So thank you for that comment, Lou.